QuickView partner. And I'm going to be joined today by Tom Hardcastle of QuickView and by a few of my Velos IT colleagues, including Andrew McElrick and Ken McConaughey. If as we're going through the presentation you get any questions, please use the chat facility, which should be available on the right-hand side of your screen. While some of the focus of this webinar will be aimed at how QuickView can work with Oracle EBusiness Suite specifically, we know there are some non-Oracle customers with us today. So with the exception of the specific eBusiness Suite loaders that we'll discuss, the rest of this presentation and demo should be relevant to everyone. So, our agenda for today is I'll do a brief introduction about Velos IT and QuickView, then pass over to Tom, who will give an introduction to QuickView itself. Andrew will then discuss and demo our automated eBusiness Suite loaders, and then Ken will demo QuickView itself using the just loaded eBusiness Suite data. Andrew will then cover social discovery and show how easy it is to amend one of the reports. And then I'll summarize the session and we'll have a Q&A. We estimate that this will take about 40 minutes. Okay, so why Velos IT? Velos IT are a QuickView and an Oracle partner that brings a reasonably unique set of combined skills. Our background is in providing support for either Oracle eBusiness Suite or JD Edwards systems for medium-sized to large customers. Our Oracle support model provides incremental support to supplement your internal team, full technology stack support, including hardware, operating system, network, database, apps, DBA, and the application itself. And we also do an on-demand type solution where we provide all the hardware and host and support your Oracle application for you. We also provide support for Oracle's customers' non-Oracle applications as well as their infrastructure. And while we support numerous BI platforms for multiple customers, you name it, we probably support it. Ones that come to mind are Business Objects, Crystal Reports, Cognos, and a growing one, obviously, OBIEE from Oracle. We have experience in all of these, and we see them as reasonably complex to support, and would certainly be a struggle for most end users to develop reports in. Also, unless you've got extremely deep pockets, you won't get automated loaders for your eBusiness Suite data. So it can take months, if not years, to implement, and the ongoing IT support costs are high. Excuse me. QuickView, on the other hand, can have end users developing reports in a matter of days. We'll demo this. You get the automated loaders at a significantly reduced price in comparison to other loader solutions. These loaders, as I've already mentioned, we've developed through our eBusiness Suite and QuickView architecture knowledge. Again, we'll demo the loaders. And we'll also demo non-Oracle data being loaded as well, all of which gives us a quick return on investment and a low total cost of ownership. We believe we can have you developing QuickView reports against your eBusiness Suite data within 1 to 2 days. Okay, this slide shows some of our managed service customers. You'll notice a strong public sector focus down the left-hand side. And for some of the others, while you might not know the company name, you will know, for example, C&C's brands. At least I assume you will. Tennent's Caledonian Breweries, Magners Cider, Gamers Cider, Wolseley, another customer, are similar to this in that they own the Plum Centre, the Bath Centre, and the Drain Centre. Another one, Element 6, are part of the De Beers Diamond Company. So all in all, a good selection of blue chip customers, most of whom have been with us for over 5 years. So why does Velos IT work with QuickView? Well, that's pretty easy. With their experience of the other tools, we see QuickView as the easiest to use and the most flexible to use, especially as an end user. With the Velos IT loaders, you can have your e-business suite loaded into QlikView within literally a day. We've also figured out how to automatically transfer over the highly complex e-business suite flex fields. And there are some really neat features such as Google Maps, mashups, collaboration and mobility, most of which we'll demo throughout this session. I'm now going to hand over to Tom Hardcastle, who works for QlikTech, the owners of QlikView, and he'll give us an overview of the power of QlikView. Tom is actually currently in a different location to us, so bear with us for 2 seconds while we pass the control of the presentation to him. And this is a new bit of technology for us, so okay, Tom, hopefully I think it is all yours. What we can see just now is your QlikView for Oracle applications. We can now see your presentation. So it's all yours, Tom. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Alan. And thank you for the introduction too, and good morning, everybody. I'm really pleased to join Velos on this call this morning. So my name is Tom Hardcastle, and I'm a partner sales manager working for QlikView here in the UK and Ireland, and I work with some of our top partners like Velos IT. This morning, I want to talk to you about QlikView Business Discovery, and I want to start by looking at us as consumers outside of the office and the access to data that we have on an ongoing basis. If we want to search for information, we can go onto Google, we can search for a new insurance policy, we can search on holiday destinations, you can search on absolutely anything on Google, and you can get a sub-second response time to your question with a relevant answer. There's tons of information on the web, as we all know. Love it or loathe it, social networking is here to stay, and I think it's only going to get bigger over the next few years as well. Facebook for friends, families, school friends, etc. LinkedIn for professional relationships with colleagues, places that we've worked, and Twitter for everything in between. Social networking contains vast amounts of data about who we are as people, who our friends are, what our hobbies are, what our interests are, where we work, what our education history is. And people are adding to that information on a daily basis, on an hourly, minute-by-minute basis, in fact. Thank you to Apple. We live in an app-driven age. Applications answer specific questions. If I want to know what the weather's like in Cheltenham, where I live, I can just access my weather app and I can get an answer to that question very quickly. If I want to find out what time my train leaves Paddington, I can access my Train Finder app and find out what time my train leaves Paddington. And of course, if we want to, we can do this wherever we are, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All we often need is an internet connection. So let's compare the experience that we have and that our colleagues have and that the people that work for us have outside of work with the typical experience we have accessing our data inside of the office. Well, business intelligence today is very IT driven. Now that's not because the IT department are saying, hands off your data, business users, we'll give you the bits that you want to see. Business intelligence is IT driven because the tools that we use as businesses are vast and diverse. We have many different systems, many different databases. We have to connect up all of that information. We then have to provision that back to the business. And it's complex and it's time consuming, and we need highly skilled IT people to make that possible. Often the output is static pre-packaged reports. I've been there before QlikView. I used to receive a 45-page PDF every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, and I used to flick to the same pages week after week after week just to get the answer to the question that I wanted very quickly. I consumed about 0.5% of the information that was in that static pre-packaged report, and that experience is very different to the experience that we have on the internet using dynamic applications and social media applications. Business intelligence today is typically very complex from a technology perspective. You could need 4 layers of technology. You could need more than 4 layers of technology. As a business, you've got to license or build this software. It takes time and it costs money to do this. On average, from day one of a business intelligence project, it takes 5 months to create an application, and it can take up to 17 months to finish that rollout. And that's because of the complexity of the technology that has to be used by highly skilled people to access your business data. The more complex, the more technology involved, the longer it takes, and the higher the services cost. You've got to spend lots of money with systems integrators or vendors to make traditional business intelligence work for you, and that doesn't include the internal cost to your organization of key resources and key developers to make business intelligence work for you, and then to support it on an ongoing basis. So what the analysts are telling the marketplace, because the marketplace is telling the analysts, is that business intelligence isn't serving the business. It's not providing the solution that a business today wants when it comes to being able to access their information quickly, efficiently, and then, as importantly, be able to proactively analyze that information. So here I have a business intelligence quadrant from the analysts who I'm sure you'll all be very familiar with, Gartner. And in the top right-hand corner, we've got a collection of business intelligence vendors. And then there's ClickTech. Gartner call us a data discovery vendor. Data discovery is causing the business intelligence marketplace to grow at the moment quite rapidly. We've moved into the leaders quadrant. We're highly rated by Gartner, and we're growing our business at 42% per year at the moment, and we're listed on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. Gartner think the rest of the industry is growing at 9%, and that's being propelled by data discovery vendors' growth, but we're dramatically outperforming the marketplace at the moment because the marketplace is telling Gartner, and it's telling us, that companies want to invest in better, more efficient, more proactive decision-making tools like ClickView. So let's look at the business discovery platform that we offer. And business discovery with ClickView, I want to take you back to the empowered consumer slide, where we have access to all of that information wherever it lives, whatever device it lives on. We can get all of our access as personal consumers in one place. And business discovery is about replicating that experience inside of your organization. We recognize that everybody in your organization is a decision maker of sorts. They just make different decisions and more or less important decisions than colleagues, but people make decisions. ClickView is about connecting decision makers up to their data, and it's about then connecting these people to other people in your organization so that you can share intelligence and you can make more informed, more proactive business decisions. Like you get a sub-second response time when you search on Google, you can have exactly the same experience in a ClickView application. You can search on your data and you can get that information back within a second, and then you can search on something else. ClickView is application driven. So if you think of iTunes and the thousands of different apps that are available on iTunes, you may have, as a finance person, an app for accounts receivable, an app for accounts payable, and then a view of that part of the business in a different app. You may be part of a project team, a project that's going to last for 3 months, so you build an app for that project, and then you burn that app down at the end of the project. As a business user, you're able to change the way that you look at your data to discover it in new ways. You don't need to speak to IT to get a new report created or to get a new view on that data created. You're able to change the way that you look at data that lives in multiple different systems so that you can learn it and you can make more proactive, positive business decisions. The beauty of ClickView from an IT perspective is that you don't have to turn off systems that you want to keep working with or rip out infrastructure from a business intelligence perspective that you've invested in over the years. ClickView works with what you've got. It can connect into your different business systems, and it can connect into any data warehouses that you've built, for instance. We see that information as just another data source. We can leverage the investment that you've made in business intelligence and help you to unlock greater value. We recognize that people very rarely make decisions on their own these days. So it could be that you're looking at your data in a ClickView application and you want to involve somebody in that session who also works for your business, or maybe they work outside of your organization and they don't have a ClickView license. ClickView allows you to share information within ClickView applications with other people in your business who don't have access to the software. And of course, mobility is a huge theme in all kinds of different technology industries across the world today. Mobility is only getting bigger. You need one user license with ClickView to access your applications on your laptop, on your phone, or on your mobile device such as an iPad. So let me just summarize the business discovery platform before handing back to Alan. ClickView allows you to consolidate information from multiple different data sources. Wherever the data lives in your business, we can take that information and we can present it back to your end users in a ClickView application. ClickView allows you to search on any information that lives within that application in the same way that you'd search on Google. You don't have to drill down through 45 pages like I did. You can just search on what you're looking for, click on it, and change the way you look at it if you want to. ClickView allows you to look at your data in a highly visual way so that you can see what you're looking for in your information and make proactive decisions. We work with some of the world's leading organizations in highly secure sectors such as banking. We work with people in the intelligence business. ClickView is able to comply with the latest security standards. From a scalability perspective, we have customers with a handful of users, and we have customers like Hewlett-Packard with 30,000 users. ClickView scales right the way through your organization. And another feature of ClickView is that you don't need to go out and buy software for everyone in your business. You can start and prove ClickView at a divisional level, at a departmental level, and then scale up as and when the time is right for you. We've touched on mobility. It's a huge theme in the software industry. We make it easy for you to be able to deploy ClickView to people who use iPads, to people who use smartphones. All you need is a username and a password, and you can access all of that information on any device that you use. And from an enterprise manageability perspective, we give you the tools to make sure that you can monitor the performance and the control of ClickView in line with the service level agreements that you've set with your own internal customers or maybe with your own external customers. So hopefully for those of you that maybe this is your first time hearing about ClickView, that set the scene and introduced you to the product. And for those of you that know a little bit about ClickView, hopefully that's provided some further insight into how ClickView can help businesses today consolidate information from multiple sources, ultimately allowing the people that work for you to make more proactive, more informed, more positive business decisions. I'm going to be on the call for the duration of this morning, and if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to contact me. For the time being, I'll hand back to Alan Kerr. Thank you.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much for that. We're now going to try and get control back, and in fact, I think we do now have control back. Thanks very much, Tom. Yep. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to try to demo some of what Tom has gone through and talked about. I'll remind you as we're going to go through this that while the reports that you're going to see are based on HR information from the Human Capital Management modules of Oracle EBusiness Suite, the concepts of ClickView apply to all types of data sets, any kind of application. So I'd encourage you as we go through this to think how you could apply the ClickView concepts that we're going to be showing to your own business area. So I'm now going to hand over to Andrew McElrick and Ken McConaughey, who are going to take us through the actual demo of the tool.
Thanks, Alan. What I'm going to start off with this morning is showing you our ClickView server software that I have running on my laptop here in Glasgow. It's a fairly low-spec laptop, and hopefully you'll be able to see how quickly, just by running tasks within the management console of the ClickView server software, we can load Oracle eBusiness Suite data directly into an application. It's just going to start the tasks in a second. As you can see now, the tasks are running. These are running in sequential order. In a real-world environment, of course, you'll have a more powerful server, and you can configure the software to extract the data in parallel and obviously run a lot faster. We can extract the data from virtually any system. It doesn't have to be Oracle eBusiness Suite, as Alan mentioned. For this purposes of this demonstration, though, we're to be loading approximately 3.5 million rows of data from our Oracle Vision database, which is running on a local server here in Glasgow, and that process to load that volume of data will only take about 4 minutes time. Obviously in the real world, again, these data volumes are quite low, but if you were going to be using our loader suite for your Oracle financial system, for example, we can provide an incremental set of loaders, and the purpose of these is as your users are obviously working on the eBusiness suite data during the day, keying in ledger data, posting journals and so on, the ClickView loaders can run incrementally during the day down to a near real-time ability, and the impact of that is your BI users who are using the ClickView application will very quickly see the changes in your database data. As part of the work that we've done in developing these scripts, we've obviously used our in-house knowledge of eBusiness Suite, and we've overcome a lot of the complexities that I'm sure some of you are aware of in the Oracle eBusiness Suite data. And that includes the use of flex fields, both key flex fields and descriptive flex fields, and we're now able to present that data into your ClickView applications. And the final point I'd like to make is that these loaders, although we are again focused on the HR application that you're about to see, can be customized on an individual customer basis. So if you have particular requirements in terms of naming conventions, languages and so on, we can customize these for you. And if I quickly switch back to the ClickView server, you'll see that the reload of this data is actually nearly finished. What I'm now going to do is hand over to Ken, who's going to demonstrate the use of this data just as it's finishing. It's loaded into our HR ClickView application. We're going to demonstrate this using Internet Explorer, the purpose of which is to show how easy it is for business users to access this new data. Any desktop or mobile browser would do, but as I said, we're using Internet Explorer for the purposes of this demonstration. So what I'll do is I'll hand over quickly to Ken, and he'll be able to give you a good demonstration of the HR application.
Thanks very much, Andrew. I think the first thing really we want to have a look at is how ClickView works. The key concept to interacting with ClickView is the concept of green, white and grey. When an item is selected, it turns green, while all data associated with that turns white. Non-associated values turn grey. We've got a very, very simple example at the top here that we're going to have a look at first. And basically what we have is we have fruit and we have colours. So if I said, what have we got in green? Bear with us a second, there's a slight loss of connection to the server. We've got it back again. Right, let's start again, the full start. Right, so what have we got in green? And basically what it's doing is looking at that data and saying, what fruit do we have in green? The answer is we have apples and we also have limes. If I click on apples and clear the colours, then you can see that we've got green and red apples. So effectively what we've done is a selection on apples. The associated data is green and red, and unassociated or non-associated values with that are grey. And that's basically because the only fruit that comes in yellow in this case is banana. Now, that's a very, very simple example based on fruits and colours. But if I go further down this page, then what we've done is we've taken this same concept with the use of the the HR data from the eBusiness Suite. So what I've got on the right-hand side of the screen is an employee list with all the employees in the organisation. This is just a simple extract of 248 employees. You can see the total number at the top of that graph. And then we have the dimensions of location. Where do they work? What are their responsibilities? What are their job titles? What are their grades? So I can jump in and look at the data and say, well, what people have we got in the grade Tech 1? And immediately what it's doing is it's looking for all the employees who fit that requirement of Tech 1. We've got 36 of them. It's given me a list of them. What it's also telling me is that we've got them based in Bristol, Leeds, and in Reading. So if I said, let's have a look at Leeds, who's based in Leeds, then we're down to 3 employees immediately as a result of that. If I clear that, the grades, then I can see everyone who's based in Leeds. Now that's also led me to an interesting result, which is that there's no general admin in Leeds. So if I click on general admin and clear Leeds, then basically what it's doing is it's telling me that the only administration staff we have in the organisation is actually based in Reading. There's no administrative support at all in Bristol or Leeds. And that's one of the sort of abilities to discover data, discover from the data interesting facts about the organisation. So that's a very, very simple example. What I'm now going to do is go into sort of more detailed view of the data that we have from the eBusiness suite. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a divisional view. And again, using the same concepts as before, effectively what it was saying is we are focusing entirely on the UK part of this organisation, of this HR system, which has a total of 1,340 employees, split across 21 locations, 87 organisation units, and effectively 3 business units. And you can see the business units at the top there. We've got Progress UK, Vision Corporation, and Vision Industries. And again, people with the eBusiness suite will be familiar with this DEMPAG, the Vision DEMPAG, and which is sort of crosses the whole of the world, but you've got a UK-based organisation. This is the one that we're looking at right now. What you've also got is you've got organisation units within there. So if I decided to click on Vision Industries, and what it's doing is it's greying out the business units that are not Vision Industries, and only then showing in white the organisation units and the organisation types that we have that actually are part of Vision Industries. All of the summation of the number of employees, with the analysis of age, which part of the business they work in, gender, etc. All of these are immediately being updated when I change. What I might want to do next is, let's have a look at the manufacturing plant. So if I click on manufacturing plant, then it's telling me that within the manufacturing plant, we have people who work at departmental level and the divisional level, and they're all based in Newcastle. So that's just by simply clicking on that, it's refreshed that data, it's organised the data into the number of people in each of these units. Now I can show that data in either graphical form as I have here, or in tabular form, whatever way you choose to do it. And Andrew's going to show us later how you can very, very easily add another graph or table to the any click view screen. What I want to do next is go into department level, and it's only showing me people who work in the departments within the organisation. What I'm going to now do is clear that data, and I'm going to go and take a map view of that very same data. So instead of showing it as graphs and tables, I want to take a map view of the organisation. I'm just going to refresh my map to see my selections. So I can see how what we've done is we've integrated this with Google Maps, and I can see all the locations that we have within the business. And again, if I just move to any part of it up to Newcastle, it's showing me all the people who work in Newcastle. And as I move to Leeds, you can see all the details of that as well. Now, one of the other nice features that we can use is the ability to scale that information. So if I change from having a location view to having a location scaled view, then what it's doing is it's showing that with the bubble sizes based on the number of employees who are working in these parts of the organisation. So obviously you can see the bulk of the people are based in Reading. But what I can then do is take that a stage further, by then doing some more filtering of that data. So I might want to say, do a simple inquiry like, how many people are over retirement age? So if I go to age profile and do 65 plus, then what it's done is it's showing me that information only with the people who are 65 plus. So it's reduced the number of locations down to the locations where the people who are over 65 actually work. And again, if I move to any of these, then it'll show me the number, well, go to that one, and it'll show me the number of people who are over retirement age in that location of Leeds. There's 2 of them. And again, nice and easy. I can mix and match these as well by having more or less in terms of the filtering. So I could combine the filter with, say, gender or how long they've been with the organisation, that type of thing as well. What I want to do next is take a sort of more graphical view of things. I'm just going to take an overview of the business. Again, we're back at an overview of the whole organisation. Again, showing that information. One of the interesting things that's revealed in this data is that the Oracle database was set up about probably 10 years ago. So everyone's aged by 10 years in that period. So we now have a sort of very aging workforce within this organisation, and that is revealed by showing these graphs. The other 2 areas that we've looked at, sort of specifically HR-driven, if you like, is absence and leavers. So if I click into absence, then it's showing me all of the absence that we've had across all of the business units. And again, if I want to, I can simply click into Vision Industries, and I've reduced it down to only looking at Vision Industries. I could pick out a town or a business unit if I wanted to, and then focus entirely on that. But what I'm going to do is the filter I'm going to apply is sickness. And you can see that this information is just immediately refreshing as I pick on that. Now, so a simple one that I quite like to ask was, how many people do we have off sick on a Monday, and they're only off for the 1 day? And there's Joe Blundell, who's the worst offender at the top. So, again, very, very easy to organise and to actually reveal that information. One of the important things that Andrew talked about earlier as well is obviously I'm running this in a browser, and you can use the application like a browser as well, in the sense of what people are used to being able to go backwards and forwards and so on in exactly the same way. So they don't need to remember the application. The whole idea of this is that you should just be able to sit in front of the application and actually drive it almost immediately. The last thing I'm going to take a look at is levers. And that's refreshed all of the data of all the people who've left the organisation. Again, I can go in and drive in based on the organisation unit or the business unit as I want to. But one of the other features that we actually added as part of our contribution to sort of the HR was to say, well, people leave organisations for 2 reasons generally. They're either employee-driven or they're employer-driven. So we've added that as a sort of function as we bring the data in from the HR database. And if I click on, say, employee-driven, then you can see the people who have left for better benefits, conditions of work, better opportunity and compensation, education, and resign. And you see mercifully that no one's left as an act of God. The last thing I want to do is sort of take a look at that data in terms of who's left and where are they based. Well, they're based in Reading. I can see Reading seems to be where people leave the organisation. That is the biggest part of it, but one of the sort of major elements of that is the business consulting division. And I want to dig into the business consulting division. And it's showing me the data about the business, only about the business consulting division. Again, it's mapped to there as well, so I can see a little map. I can also, if I want to, have a look at the turnover, which is quite drastic there. I'm using a single feature of the product, which is the ability to show and highlight to the organization what the bad results and not so good results, or sorry, bad and good. Effectively, it's a function called visual queuing. So what we've said here is that anything that's above, say, 50% turnover over a 5-year period is bad, and anything below that is neutral or good. So you can see where your problems actually lie. One last thing I'm going to do is to sort of take the next step with QlikView, which is to do a what-if review. Basically, the idea behind this what-if review is taking that data. We're focused in the business consulting group, and what we're looking at here is the ability to take out of the HR system who everyone is, but also take out of the payroll system information like salary and pension information. And I can then use QlikView to look at what would the cost be of giving everyone in a particular grade or a range or whatever a salary increase of, say, 2%. And just move that to 2%, and you can see the result. I've made it 2.1. Being generous. So it's cost the organisation £146,000, and I can even produce a list showing what the new salaries will be for these individuals as well. And the last thing I want to do is show you going right down to a person level, so we can actually drill right down in the data into an individual employee. So in this case, I'm going to pick an employee, and I can key in their name, and it's gone and found that individual. And what we've done is we've pulled together all the sort of key information regarding the person, their name and address, etc., their assignments, their absences, training history, and so on as well. That training history is from an external database as well. And just one other feature have a look at is the ability to see a map in conjunction with people as well. So what I can do is I can see a combination of the locations and the people who work within the organisation. I think that's it.
Okay, thanks Ken and Andrew. That's the sexy bit over. Oh, sorry, we're going to do business discovery. My apologies. That's not the sexy bit over.
One of the aspects, Andrew again, one of the aspects Ken highlighted there in the demonstration was obviously how easy it is to use QlikView to discover the information within your database systems. And obviously what we are hoping is QlikView users, you will quickly discover things in your database and your systems that you weren't actually aware of before. And one of the nice features that we have now in QlikView, and Tom touched on it at the start, is the aspect of social business discovery. So what I'd quickly like to do, just demonstrate just for 2 more minutes, is having discovered some of this key information that Ken highlighted in terms of the absence data for your organisation, you as a business user do not want to have to go back to your IT department and go into a lengthy consultation about how long it will take to start modifying your reports to analyse the data further. It's a simple case as you, within your browser, taking a copy of a chart or a table that's of interest, pasting it into your browser, just pasting the sheet object, creating your own copy of it, and it's just in here. We'll just drag it up onto the main screen. You now have your own copy of any of the chart objects. You can modify the properties of this object, and this is just using standard desktop browser functionality. You can change the dimensions of the chart, you can modify the expressions, you can change the colors and so on. What you can also do is you can share this chart with others. This now would only be visible to myself, but you can share it across your organisation or to named people. You can also attach a nice feature, so you can attach a note to the chart. So if you found some interesting data and you want this to be known and understood within your add a title, for example, this is good, and then you can add in a number of comments. You can then save it, and using this facility here, you can actually do a lookup on your own organization's Active Directory and select individuals that you want to be able to see this note. The notes are available through one of the toolbars at the top of the browser. Obviously, this is quite sort of groundbreaking because if you consider some of the traditional BI technologies that Alan touched on at the beginning of the presentation, these sorts of facilities are just not available yet, and QuickTech are the leaders in this aspect of social business discovery. One final thing I'd like to show you is that at the top of the screen here, we have the ability to share your session. What I can do here is, using this HR application that I have opened, click the share session button. The QuickView server will generate a unique URL for this session and provide a facility for me to email this link. If I was to click that, I'm actually going to do it in the demonstration, but what that will do is it will launch straight into Outlook with a copy of the invitation. You can then send it to the nominated individuals you want in your organization. When they open that session, they will then have access to your browser window. They will be able to see your data collections, and because it's in this realm of social business discovery, you can conduct your meetings using this QuickView application, and they can make the selections, and you can obviously discuss the findings. So the days of sending hard copy emails and printing off what could be confidential financial or HR data are over. Obviously, this is one of the strong selling points of QuickView here. The other big advantage to this, of course, is if you're a licensed QuickView user using this application, you can share this session to anyone in your organization. They do not need a license, and the entire suite of applications would run within their browser environment. So hopefully this has whipped your appetite a bit to some of the social discovery aspects of QuickView. I'll just close that sharing link, and it will return back to the main document, and I'll hand over to Alan Ferrigan.
And that's it, PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
So thanks, Andrew. Ken, a bit premature on the sexy bit being finished there. That's not unusual for me. So quickly going to summarise, and I know we're slightly over time. I think that just emphasises, how keen and so excited we are about the QuickView product and what we can do with it. But anyway, QuickView, Gartner's BI juggernaut, as described by Tom. Solution's easy to implement, and you get a quick return on investment and a low total cost of ownership. In our experience, it can be implemented on an enterprise-wide or a departmental basis, and the system response times and development times are industry-leading. We've actually got a quote from one customer who claimed to develop a QuickView report in 2 days that had previously taken them 15 days in Crystal reports. If you're adding, as we tried to show, a new column to report from the source system, it can take 1 day in OBIEE, but it will take minutes in QuickView. And it can be done by an end user rather than involving IT. And it also works across multiple data sources, although we didn't really quite emphasize that. Ken showed the training information coming up. And it now comes with the affordable EBusiness Suite data loaders as well from Bellis IT. So, thank you very much for listening to what's been the best attended webinar that we've ever run. So thank you for that. And we were going to switch over to see if we get any questions. I'll probably read just a couple that, just to see if, if there are any, although we are a wee bit over time. Okay, just a quick couple in here. Do you sell the loaders on a license basis? Yes, and we'd be happy to discuss that with anyone that's interested. There will be some contact details on the final screen. We actually move beyond that, have the contact details. Flex fields in everyone's eBusiness Suite solution will have different values and different descriptions in them. How do you handle this? Good question. That's probably been the most complex area that we've had to handle in tying the content of a flex field to the flex field's description. After a good few months of effort, we've now figured out how Oracle tie these flex fields to the description, and we can now automatically load most flex fields from eBusiness Suite into QuickView, and we're just working on finishing off the last few. So a few a full capability there. Yeah, I don't have, when I don't have EBusiness or whatever it is called, how quickly can I get my non-Oracle data into QuickView? Well, I suppose the answer to that is how long is a piece of string and just how much data, the complexity of the data model that you've got. What we can say through our experience of working on other products is it will likely take significantly less time doing putting it into QuickView than through a traditional ETL activity or other tools. Yeah, the others are all a wee bit more specific. Given the others are a bit more specific, what we can do is we'll get back to the people that have asked them directly after this session and respond to them in a one-to-one. So contact details are up there on the screen. We have been recording this session and we'll have it up on our website within the next few days if you're excited enough about it to go back in and watch it again. But in the meantime, thank you very much for attending and have a good weekend. Thank you.